Hi everyone, and welcome to this review of the Jungle Hunter Predator figure. This is the new figure from Series 8. Let's take a look at the packaging. Ages 17 plus, new additional articulation which we'll get onto later. A nice bio. If you want to read that, I'll just focus on it and you can go ahead and pause and read that if you want to see that. And the other figures in this wave. If you want to see this video review, there'll be a link up here in the top of the screen and also in the description, so go ahead and take a look at that. And here he is. He looks absolutely incredible, and one thing that I do have to say is these are not warped, and I am so happy about that. The worst thing that can possibly happen with any collectibles or figures or anything is if something is soft pliable plastic and it's not packaged properly and it gets warped. It's nothing to do with you, and it's a really bad problem. It's quality control and it needs to be sorted out. But thankfully with this packaging they haven't gone cheap and they're not actually held in by anything. It's just past the arm. It's just opening the package, so there's no possible way these can get warped. So if that's one reason why you might not buy this because you're worried about that, don't worry, go ahead and buy it. It'll be perfectly fine. So let's take a close-up view of this guy. This is how I have him on my shelf. He looks awesome. There you have the removable backpack, and I'll show you how that works when I get onto the articulation. Great hand, great detailing on the armour, by the way. And there's two main differences to this and the one from the last wave. If you're wondering why it looks exactly the same as the old Jungle Hunter Predator from Wave 7, that's because it pretty much is. There's the new articulation right there in the crotch. Right there in the crotch. But one other big difference is the skin tone. They've changed the skin tone so you got more of these darker patches, and then on the torso it's a bit lighter. So as it turns out, it's slightly more screen accurate. But the main attraction to this is the articulation. These bones are on a little string, so you got one string there, and then the necklace, and they move around onto the back. Really nice dreadlocks. You can see even more detail of that backpack there. Back of the arms. All of the metal detail on this is awesome. There's the wrist blades. All of the accessories that come with this guy are on him right now, so if you're wondering if he comes with anything, that is what you're getting. So let's move on to articulation. So the removable backpack is right here. It's just clipped on right at the top there and at the bottom on a little hook that goes in there. So you hook that on and push that on. And as you can see, this is on a ball joint at the top, and then it's on this little swivel here. So if I go ahead and put that back on to show how that looks with his head. You can move that. Wherever he moves his head, that can follow. So great articulation, there's nothing being hindered there. Obviously you can move the head a little bit more when this is off, as I can show you now. It's on a really nice ball joint, and the dreadlocks are soft pliable plastic, which means that they will move with it, and they do sort of mould there. So if you want to tuck them away, you can do that and they'll stay there, but they won't actually fuse to that position or anything. So you can always move these around however you want. If in the movie he has them over his shoulders, you can put them over his shoulders and so on. So you can get a really nice accurate look with that. Nothing in the torso. The armour plates on his shoulders, or the spolders, do not tug on these too much because they are connected by this little wire here, and they're connected down here, so you don't want to be ripping them off. But because they're not actually connected to the shoulder up there, you can get some pretty decent articulation out of them, and it's on a ball joint there. But yeah, don't really try and, like, you know, push his arm all the way up, because it ain't gonna happen. You're gonna break it. There you go. Elbow joint, you can rotate, and you can also move up and down 90 degrees. The wrist is on a, I guess, what feels like a ball joint or a T-joint sort of thing, so really nice articulation there. He moves at the waist. The wrist blades, this is them fully extended, and you can push them in to there. I'll pull them back out though because they look cooler. And this is the biggest draw for this version of Predator, and that is his ball joints at the hips. That is something we've been waiting for a Predator figure for so long, but just to show it off, look at that. No horrible cut joint, so that means that we have this new moulded skirt, which looks really awesome. Not in and out, but up and down, yes. If you do move them like that, then you can get a bit, but it's mainly forward and back. But you don't need it to come out because he's not going to be doing star jumps or something. He's got really nice knee articulation. It's not double jointed, it's just a single joint, but it goes pretty far. And then obviously he has the ball jointed feet, so you can get really nice wide stances out of him. He does have peg holes in the feet, but you don't exactly need them because of the size of those mofos. I mean, look at that. From underneath it actually looks a bit like there's 2 feet there. So yeah, whatever pose you want, he will stand with it. He does feel quite weighty, but because of the size of those feet, he'll stand no matter what pose you whack this guy into. Now the ball joints on the hips, they're not loose, but as you can see I can move him very, very easily. So for a size comparison, here he is next to Dutch. This guy is nearly 8 inches and this guy is just over 7 inches. So next to each other, they're in scale, they look great, and I would urge you to go and pick them up immediately. If you want to check out the review for this guy, go ahead and click anywhere on his body and that will take you to his video, or you can just check it out in the description. In the description I'll also put a link to Amazon where I got these guys from, but that will be amazon.co.uk, so if you're not in the UK then check out Big Bad Toy Store or amazon.com or wherever it is that you're from. But that's it for this review, guys. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.